Good day, everyone, especially to you, ma'am. I am Jade G. Downing, and I'm going to discuss the Chapter 2, the Philippine Constitution. The learning objectives. Identify important provisions in the Philippine Constitution related to tourism and travel. Next is to enumerate the rights of the travelers as well as entities engaged in the entire tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. And lastly is to organize industry research. So let's talk about the law. The Constitution is defined as the original and fundamental principles of law by which a system of government is created and according to which a country is governed. So it is a fundamental law of the land to which all other laws must conform. It is a written instrument by which the fundamental powers of the government are established, limited, and defined, and by which those powers are distributed among several departments for their safe and useful exercise for the benefits of the body politic. The Article the 3rd, the Bill of Rights, and Article the 7th, National Economy and Patrimony, are some of the constitutional provisions related to tourism which may be given preferential attention. The Constitution is the highest law that establishes the foundation of a government and guides how a country is governed. So it sets the limits and structure of a governmental power, ensuring that all the other laws align with its principles. By distributing authority among different branches, it maintains balance and protects the rights and interests of the people. Section 1 of the Bill of Rights protects every individual's fundamental rights to life, liberty, and property, ensuring these cannot be taken away without fair and legal procedures. So this principle is known as due to process, then guarantees that the government must follow proper legal steps before imposing any restrictions or penalties. So additionally, the provision ensures equal protection under the law, meaning no person should face discrimination or unfair treatment. It upholds justice and fairness, making sure that laws apply equally to all individuals, regardless of status or background. The discussion of the law. Under the Constitution, the term life, of which a person may not be deprived without due process, means more than animal existence. According to Justice Malcolm, liberty means that measure of freedom which may be enjoyed in a civilized community constantly with the peaceful enjoyment of life, freedom, and others. Property is defined as anything which is or may be the object of appropriation. Equal protection of the law means persons similarly situated should be similarly treated. So the Constitution ensures that life encompasses more than just physical existence, protecting a person's overall well-being and dignity. Liberty, as explained by Justice Malcolm, allows individuals to enjoy their freedoms while respecting the rights of others in a peaceful society. Property includes anything that can be owned, and the principle of equal protection ensures that people in similar situations are treated fairly and equally under the law. Application of the law. In this case, Congressman Peter Janino, a Filipino citizen, has been accused of tax evasion and being investigated for dealing prohibited drugs in the United States of America. He is currently residing in the Philippines so that he can pursue his alleged illegal business and his seat in Congress as a convenient cover. In this regard, the United States government requested for the extradition of Congressman Janino from the Philippine government so that he will be investigated under the U.S. jurisdiction pending the evaluation of his extradition, and Janino demanded for his extradition papers from the U.S. government through the Philippine government so that he can already file his opposition in the Philippine courts without need of extradited to the United States of America. The Philippine government, which the concurrence of the American government, refused to provide Congressman Janino with extradition papers. In this situation, Is Congressman already deprived of his rights due to process? In this legal opinion, the answer is no. Congressman Janino is not deprived of his right to due process. A total number of 1,069 people or persons who have committed crimes in a foreign country, and it is signed into a law on January 13, 1977, which implements the RP-US extradition treaty, provides the time when an extradition shall be furnished a copy of the petition for the extradition as well as its supporting papers. After the filing of the petition for extradition in the extradition court, the law does not grant an extradite a right to notice and hearing during the evaluation stage of an extradition process. A different interpretation will be dangerous, as this will be an opportunity for the extradite to flee while the investigation during the evaluation of the extradition process is pending. In many instances, communication and correspondence are inevitable in tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. Because of its daily use, it is important to understand what laws may be applied. So in Section 3, the privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court, or when public safety or order requires otherwise as prescribed by the law. Any evidence obtained in violation of this or the preceding section shall be inadmissible for any purposes in any proceeding. For a labor-intensive industry like the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry, it is common to have disputes between the labor sector and management. Likewise, depiction of women and children in an exploitative manner has happened in the past. Freedom of speech has to be understood in the right context. In Section 4, no law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or of the press, or on the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances. Every person has the right to travel and reside anywhere he chooses. So in Section 6, the liberty of abode and of changing the same within the limits prescribed by the law shall not be impaired except upon lawful order of the court. Neither shall the right to travel be impaired except in the interest of national security, public safety, or public health as may be provided by the law. Once again, the labor-intensive nature of the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry elicits the possibility of unions and associations being formed to protect rights of employees. Section 8, the right of the people, including those employed in the public and private sectors, to form unions, association, or societies for purposes not contrary to the law, shall not be abridged. The tourism, travel, and hospitality industry makes use a lot of contracts. Example given as the employment, engagements, agencies, sales, franchise, property management, purchase, services, and the like. Thus, it is important to study obligations and contracts. It is important to be informed of some of the constitutional provisions or national economy and patrimony because some of applicable tourism. In Section 10, the Congress shall, upon recommendation of the Economic and Planning Agency, when the national interest dictates, reserve to citizens of the Philippines or to corporations or associations at least 60% of whose capital is owned by such citizens or such higher percentage as Congress may prescribe certain areas of investments. And a grant of rights, privileges, and concessions covering national economy and patrimony, the state shall give preference to qualified Filipinos. The state shall regulate and exercise authority over foreign investments within its national jurisdictions and in accordance with its national goals and priorities. Many multinational corporations want to invest in the Philippine tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. It is important to study to what extent and how they can invest. In Section 11, no franchise, certificate, or any other form of authorization for the operation of a public utility shall be granted except to citizens of the Philippines, or to corporations or associations organized under the laws of the Philippines, or at least 60% of whose capital is owned by such citizens, nor shall such franchise, certificate, or authorization be exclusive in character or for a longer period than 50 years. Neither shall any such franchise or right be granted except under the condition that it shall be subject to amendment, alteration, or repeal by the Congress when the common good so require. The state shall encourage equity or participation in investors in the governing body of public utility enterprise, then shall be limited to their proportionate share in its capital, and all the executive and managing officers, such as the corporation or association, must be citizens of the Philippines. The country takes pride in developing a skilled workforce ranging from blue collars to white collar jobs, from managerial to entrepreneurial talents, from scientists to artists. There is a provision in the law that limits the practice of professions. This may shortly change because of the reciprocity, especially when certain agreements in the World Trade Organization covering movement of people and services will be implemented globally. In Section 14, the sustained development of a reservoir or of the national talents consisting of Filipino scientists, entrepreneurs, and professionals, managers, high-level technical manpower, and skilled workers and craftsmen in all fields shall be promoted by the state. The state shall encourage appropriate technology and regulate its transfer for the national benefit. The practice of all professions in the Philippines shall be limited to Filipino citizens, save in cases prescribed by the law. So that's all for my report from the topic Philippine Constitute from the Chapter 2. Once again, I'm Jade Claire G. Downing, and I'm from BSHM 3A. Have a good day.